Okay, bonjour, bienvenue. C'est le vendredi 20 novembre. I forgot to record. Here is for the recording. So penpal permission slip. So if you go into our class, module 1, it's right here. Okay, so if you want to do this exchange with a French person in France, a French high school student who's learning English, you'll want to send this permission slip to your parents. I'll go ahead and send it in an email to them later, but I'd love for y'all to just start that conversation with them. If you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, no worries. We can write letters to somebody that doesn't exist, and I'll just read them and we'll do that. So you'll be writing them letters in French and they'll be responding in English because they are French folks, French high school students who, like you, are learning a second language. For them, it's English, or maybe a third language, right? And so you'll write them in French and then they'll write you back in English. And my goal for that is to start, not next week, because next week is a very short week. We just have Monday and Tuesday, but then the week after. So at the end of the first week of December, I'd like y'all to send that first letter. So I want to get us going by then. What questions do you have for me about this? There's more info coming down the way, but what are some questions y'all have for me about this pen pal thing? Nothing? Okay. If questions come up later, I'm happy to answer them and we can talk about it more. Again, I'm still getting it started. It's something that doesn't exist that I'm creating with this teacher in France. So we're still getting that moving and grooving. I also wanted to give you, while we're speaking in English, 2 more things. Student hours. So student hours, I didn't get any folks coming in this week, but I just want you to know that that's a great spot to drop in and check in and touch base if you're struggling with French or if you just want to check in. What I'll do is I'll attach a link kind of like here where you can click on it. You can plug in your name and we can meet in the morning. All right, so I want to encourage y'all to take advantage of that maybe next week. I know y'all work and you got a lot on your plate, so I understand if you can't, but. And then I meant to send this out yesterday, but Verona has asked us to send out this form to kind of poll you on second semester. So please take a moment. I'll stop recording. I'll pause the class a little bit, and I'll give you all about 5 minutes to go ahead and fill out that form. All right, so I just dropped a form in the chat. So please go ahead and fill that out. Ok, bien. Donc, quel est ton mot préféré? Et puis la description. Et on va faire une activité avec la description pour lundi. Okay? Mais d'abord, quel est ton mot préféré en français? Est-ce que tu as un mot ou une expression que tu aimes en français? Et pourquoi? Hein, donc dans le chat peut-être, ou si tu veux, tu peux le dire. Hein. Quel est ton mot préféré en français? Oh. Quel est ton mot préféré en français? Tu peux le mettre dans le chat si tu veux. Yeah, we've got fatigué, amour, petit déjeuner. And petit déjeuner is interesting. How do you say petit déjeuner in English? Breakfast, right? Yeah. So breakfast in terms of breaking the fast, okay? So breakfast means you're breaking the fast of overnight because when you sleep, you're not eating. Now in French, petit déjeuner means breakfast, right? But if you break down the word, déjeuner means jeûner is to fast, And so déjeuner is to undo the fast. Déjeuner. So technically, déjeuner means break fast. So in Canada, they have déjeuner for breakfast, dîner for afternoon, and then souper for dinner at night. So it's a little different in Canada, in Quebec. And then in European France, it's petit déjeuner, déjeuner, dîner. Bonbon, that's a good word. I think my favorite word in French is pamplemousse. It means grapefruit, and it just sounds silly. I like it. Cool. Excellent. OK, OK. Révisons un peu la description en français. Hein? Donc, hier, nous avons parlé un peu de Bob l'éponge. Bob l'éponge est une éponge. Hein? Il est drôle, assez intelligent, imaginatif, un peu agaçant aussi, et il est petit et jaune. And so agaçant, the other class asked me how to say annoying, and agaçant is a good one. There are many ways to say annoying in French, but I thought agaçant is kind of the best for this one. It's kind of like a mosquito, annoying. Agaçant. So agaçant. Before we move any further, are there other adjectives you'd like to know in French? I will serve you as your personal dictionary for a moment, if you have words that you want to know in French for adjectives. Ok, excellent, excellent, ouais. Ok, donc nous avons travaillé un peu la description hein, avec Bob l'éponge. Hein? Hein? Et aujourd'hui, j'aimerais vous présenter quelque chose d'autre pour rajouter à ça. So, does anybody remember what I said yesterday that I was going to help you all talk about? Not just in describing what people are, but also what they... Yeah, negatives, what they aren't, right? So not just who they are, but also who they aren't, because that can be really helpful in describing somebody, right? Donc, voici Tigger. C'est un ami de Winnie l'ourson. And ourson just means little bear. So Winnie the little bear. Voici Tigger, c'est un ami de Winnie l'ourson. Il est très amusant, il est très actif, mais il n'est pas très sage. Mais il n'est pas très sage. So who can help us understand what's being said about Tigger here? Il est très amusant. Yeah, he's friends with Pooh Bear. Yeah, he's friends with Winnie the Pooh. He's a friend of Winnie the Pooh's. Yeah, so here is Tigger. He is a friend of Winnie the Pooh. And then he is... Il est très amusant et très actif, mais il n'est pas très sage. He's very fun. Yeah, il est très amusant. He's very fun. He's very funny and fun. Et très actif. He's always hopping around, right? He's very active. Très actif. Very active, kind of energetic, right? Très actif. OK, il est très amusant et très actif, mais il n'est pas très sage. So here's the trickier part. Not super smart, close, very close. But he is not correct. Yeah, somebody got it in the chat. He is not wise. All right. So sage in French is wise. It can also mean you'll hear French parents say things to their kids like sois sage. And that means essentially behave yourself. Be good. Okay, sois sage, behave yourself, be good, okay? So that could mean one of two things, right? For Tigger, he could be not very wise or he could be not very well behaved, right? I'm gonna go with not very wise for this one. But it could be either, I guess, depending on how you want to describe him. Okay, so il est très amusant et très actif, mais il n'est pas très sage. So he's very fun and very active, but he is not very wise. Il n'est pas très sage. So I wanted to quickly go over negation with y'all to help you better describe somebody. And I really want to encourage y'all to try using it. It's not something I expect you to master right away. It's something that I'm going to have y'all practice over time. Okay. And I don't know how familiar you are with it from French 1. I don't know if Madame Perez went over it quickly or if it was gone in depth. Donc, il est sage? Non. Non. Il n'est pas sage. So when we're doing negation, we're going to take ne and pas and put it around the verb. Okay. So ne is going to go before and pas after the verb. So here the verb is to be. Il est. Il est? Non. Il n'est pas. Okay. Il n'est pas. So it helps sometimes if you want, you can think of it as a sandwich, right? And so you could think of a slice of bread as the negation. Okay, so you've got one slice ne, the other slice pas, and then the verb is kind of what goes in between. All right, the verb can be the meat or veggies or something, whatever you put in there. A grilled portobello, I don't know. Okay, so il n'est pas sage. And if you look, it's ne and pas, right? But what's happening here? What's happening right here? What's happening to the ne? What's happening to the ne here? It's ne est pas sage. So in French with negation, it's generally going to be ne pas, but if there's a vowel, they don't want two vowels in a row. They don't want ne et. So they're going to drop this e. It's going to become an apostrophe. All right. So il n'est pas sage instead of il ne est pas sage. It doesn't sound great. Il ne est pas sage. So instead they're going to say il n'est pas sage. Okay. Vowels. What are vowels? What are some examples of vowels? So we're all on the same page. Yeah. A, E, I, O, U, and then sometimes Y in English, right? In French, vowels are going to be A, E, I, O, U, and then Y, always Y, and then often H. Not always, but often. Often H. Okay, everything else is going to be a consonant. And so let's see what we do with consonants. So, il est sage? Non. Il n'est pas sage. So imagining we're speaking as Tigger. Je m'appelle Tigger. Je suis sage? Non. Je ne suis pas sage. Je ne suis pas sage. Okay. Je ne suis pas sage. I am not wise. Okay. So let's practice a little bit with some familiar faces. Bob l'éponge est une éponge. Il n'est pas. So let's go ahead and use some of those adjectives we've been working on. You can use adjectives to describe his physical characteristics, or you can talk about his personality. What is SpongeBob not? Ouais, donc Bob l'éponge est une éponge. Il n'est pas grand, il n'est pas très intelligent, ok? Il n'est pas rond, c'est vrai, il n'est pas rond. He is not round, he is a square. Ok, et Wonder Woman, c'est une super-héros. Elle n'est pas quoi? Elle n'est pas, donc elle est forte, elle est courageuse, mais qu'est-ce qu'elle n'est pas? Ouais, excellent, excellent. Elle n'est pas faible, elle n'est pas grosse, elle n'est pas paresseuse, elle n'est pas blonde, hein, c'est vrai, elle n'est pas chauve, hein, voilà. Et pour Garfield, Garfield, il est comment? Donc Garfield est un chat, il est quoi? Il est comment? Il est un peu méchant, il est un peu gros, mais qu'est-ce qu'il n'est pas? Il n'est pas quoi? Ouais, excellent. Il n'est pas mince, il n'est pas agréable, il n'est pas actif, sportif, il n'est pas sympa. Hein, il n'est pas agréable. Agréable is kind of like pleasant, nice to be around, uh, agreeable. Yeah. Excellent, excellent, super. And then Miss Marvel, maybe you learned a little bit about her. I included like a link. She's a pretty cool superhero. Um, elle n'est pas. Do y'all have ideas for what she isn't? Elle est assez sympathique, je pense. Ouais. Elle n'est pas Elastigirl, oui. Elle est différente d'Elastigirl. She is different from Elastigirl. She is not Elastigirl. C'est vrai. Elle n'est pas Elastigirl. Ouais, ok. Super. Super. So let's start an activity. And I meant to do a screen cap here and it didn't work out. But what I'd like you to do is to go to the calendar and I have it due by Monday night. You can really turn it in whenever you want, okay? Between now and then. So let's go to se présenter deux. So for this, I have given you some images of people you may or may not know. We've talked a lot about SpongeBob, so I feel like you probably know. Choisis une image, A, B ou C. Regarde l'image et imagine que c'est toi la personne dans l'image. Comment t'appelles-tu? Quel âge as-tu? D'où viens-tu? Ensuite, donne une description détaillée avec un minimum de 2 détails physiques et 4 détails psychologiques. Et si tu ne connais pas ce personnage, invente des détails. Il n'y a pas de souci. Okay? So I'm asking you to choose one of the images, A, B, or C, and to kind of bring everything together so far, right? We've learned how to say hi to somebody, how to greet somebody. We've learned how to say our name. We've reviewed a lot of this stuff, right? We've learned how to say how old we are. We've learned how to say where we're from. And we've learned how to start giving some descriptions. So what I'd like you to do is to take 5 minutes to get started with this. I don't want to stress you out or push you to hurry it. I want you to take your time with this. I am going to grade it. So take your time with it and start thinking of some ideas. All right. Take notes, maybe. You can take notes in your expression bank, or you can take notes on a piece of paper or something. All right. But start, pick the person you're going to go with, and then start thinking up some answers you want to give. So I'll set a timer in a moment, but before we do, if I were A, if I chose A, I'll give you some examples in the chat. Par exemple, how would I say my name is SpongeBob or my name is Bob? Keep it simple. In French. Comment dit-on my name is Bob? Yeah, je m'appelle Bob. Super. Je m'appelle Bob. What if you were B? What if you chose the person B? How would you say, my name is? Y'all know who B is? Ah, no, it's not Gohan, it's Goku, but they look similar. Yeah, je m'appelle Goku. And you may not know Goku, that's okay. You know, you might want to pick somebody else. And then C, je m'appelle. Does anybody know who C is? Je m'appelle Moana. Super. Oui. Je m'appelle Moana. Je m'appelle Moana. Excellent. Okay, so you've got some examples to get you started. Go ahead and I'm going to start a timer. Let's do 4 minutes, not 5, because we're looking at the time. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so take 3 minutes. I'm sorry that the time is shrinking. Let's take about 3 minutes and I'll let you work. I'll mute myself and then we'll come back and I'll wrap it up for the weekend. Okay, so please turn that in by Monday at 10 p.m. I look forward to seeing how y'all are able to put all these different elements together that we've reviewed so far. If you want to push yourself a little bit, I'd recommend including at least one negative sentence, trying to practice what we did today with what somebody is not, right? All right, so pour lundi, terminez les activités dans ta banque d'expression et puis faites cette activité, se présenter deux. Okay. So for Monday, I'm asking you to finish your activity bank, finish whatever activities you have left, and I'll ask you to turn it in by the end of the day on Tuesday. All right, so if you don't finish it this weekend, that's okay. I won't ask you to turn it in until Tuesday. And then please do this activity, se présenter deux. All right. I'll stick around if there are questions, but for the sake of the recording, I will say bon weekend et au revoir. Thanks for all your hard work this week.
Thank you.
Au revoir.
Thank you.